In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the financial analysis file. When you load the file, it comes up to this page called Russell 3000, which shows that I set this up to do analysis of Walmart. Walmart is my main company, so it has a to by it. And these are the competitors I have for Walmart. I brought in all the consumer staple distribution and retail companies. So I got Walmart compared to them. So this is where we're going to set it up. If you go to the setup key company and peers, that's the second page, you can see Walmart and its competitors are in there. So I'm going to select that section from A4, however far down it goes. You'll probably have Walmart set up like this. A4 through C30. You don't need to do anything beyond C30. You just want to delete those because you're going to put your own companies in there. And then we're going to go back to the Russell 3000. So the first step, get rid of the companies that are in there. Second step, you see in column C where we have our selection of companies. I'm going to delete that because we're going to create our own. And why don't let's do NVIDIA. So I'm going to come down here and say, you picked NVIDIA. That's the company you're going to do. I'm going to put a 2 next to NVIDIA. And then I got to say, how do I find NVIDIA's competitors? And I've got 4 columns here. The first column is sector. You can see GICS, which is a sector information tech. That's probably too broad. That's quite a few companies. We probably want to limit it down to industry group, or sub-industry. I'm going for semiconductor companies. I'm going to use the semiconductor and semiconductor equipment column. Column E, but you might use F, you might use G, you might experiment some. You can see sometimes they're the same, sometimes they're a little bit different, kind of depends on the industry, if there is a sub-industry. But we'll start with NVIDIA and we'll sort off of column E. So I'm going to go to A3, you Control Shift down, and then lift up on the control and just go right with the Shift key down. So you highlight everything through column H, and then you want to do data, sort, and you want to sort by column E. So we're going to do column E. You can do A to Z or Z to A, doesn't really matter. We're going to eliminate, or we'll keep the column H in there. Column H is the market cap, and we'll do largest to smallest there, so the biggest companies come out on top. Hit OK. When we do that, we can go over to column C and do control down, not control shift, but just control down. That will bring us to NVIDIA because we put that 2 next to NVIDIA. We're then going to put a 1 down and copy the 1 all the way down to the end of our semiconductors and equipment. There's quite a few of them. We'll copy those ones all the way down in column C. When we add all that up, we see that we have 64 companies. This spreadsheet is set up to do 50 companies, so 64 is more than it's set up to do, but we've got it sorted by market cap, which means when we do the analysis, at least we'll have the 50 largest companies in our analysis. So I'm going to do Control Home, go back to A3, do Control Shift down, lift up the control, go to the right over to column H, and then I'm going to do Data, Sort. Instead of sorting by column E this time, I'm going to sort by column C and do largest to smallest. That will bring NVIDIA up to the top because it has a 2 next to it. And then all of its competitors because I have a 1 next to it. And in column H, we'll get the largest companies at the top. When I say OK, you can see I've got NVIDIA and its competitors. What I want to do is take NVIDIA and its competitors, highlight that just through column C. So A, B, and C, copy, come over to the setup page, and A4, right click and paste its values. When you do that, if you're on a Capital IQ machine, it will start calculating, bringing the data in for these companies. Now here's where you might have a little bit of issue is you can see the data I'm pulling starting in column D stops at row 30, but I've got companies all the way down to 67. So in this case, we want to copy these lines down further down. It is possible that you have fewer companies, maybe you only have 21. In that case, you would want to delete the ones below, but we want to add to them. So I'm going to start in column D, that last line 30. I'm going to do my cursor to the right. We're going to go all the way. You'll be able to tell when you get to AZ. You might see, well, I got empty cells. You have empty cells because semiconductors don't have locations. You notice BG has the data for all the companies. We don't want to go all the way over there. You go over to column AZ, whether you're adding the rows or deleting rows, you want to go over to AZ, hit Control C to copy, hit your left arrow to get you back over to column D, and hit your Shift key and come all the way down to get to the bottom of the semiconductors, and then you can hit enter to paste those, and now you have all of the semiconductor companies in your file. So the Russell 3000, we told Excel which companies we're interested in, our primary company, and then the competitors. And the setup, we have those same companies again, but we make sure we have all the data coming in all the way down. Then we go to the tickers, and the tickers, you'll see NVIDIA's in there. It's in there as the main company. It's also in there as one of the competitors, which is not a problem. We just have it in there twice. It won't mess up the data. What you have to do here, though, is in D5, is you want to put your company. And so the reason you have to type it again is because whatever you put in this green box, that is what's going to come up on your graphs. You look at print page 2. If you look at the graphs, you can see NVIDIA comes in on the graph. Whatever you type in on that green cell is what is going to show on the graphs. Once you do that, when you get to print page 1, that's all of your data that you need for NVIDIA. On print page 2, it's all of your graphs. And there's another video that walks through how to do the analysis on the graphs, but you've got your file set up. The next chart is Capital IQ data. What this file is doing is really just bringing in the Capital IQ data off of your NVIDIA. So you have all your NVIDIA data there down below. It brings in all those competitor data, so you don't need to mess with this file at all. The next one is your graphs. You might actually do some editing here if you want to change some of the charts. If you have one piece of data that's just distorting the graph, you might want to delete that. But we'll talk about that in the class as we go through it. Beyond that, it's really just ways of getting the spreadsheet to work better. So you don't have to worry with that. The only pages you worry about is the first page where you pick your companies, the second page where you bring those companies over, so you pull the data. The next page, which really all you have to do there is type in D5 your company name. And then print page 1 or print page 2 is where you are going to do the actual analysis.